Paula Dezutti, the woman behind the Script Pig Distillery and the Skirt magazine, is making major moves here in the Lowcountry and beyond. I talk one-on-one with Paula for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook. Paula Dezutti, welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Thank you so much for having me. I love being with you. I love that smile.
Oh, I appreciate it greatly. Thank God for that. Needless to say, you are the founder and CEO of Local Choice Spirits, Strip Pig Distillery, of course, the Sip and Share movement, and also, as you just mentioned a second ago off camera to me, the CEO of Skirt Magazine. Let me ask you this, Miss Paula. What is that one headline to describe your life right now?
Yeah. We have a plaque in my office that says, "You call it chaos, we call it family." It's being on the journey. It's just being on the journey and not sitting still. You get to a point where you're tenured in your life, that you have more years behind you than you have ahead of you. And maybe you fall a little bit into the illusion of the scarcity of time. And so I'm running out of time. So I think it's even more pedal to the metal for me.
Oh, absolutely. Let me ask you this. How have you been able to be still on this particular journey?
I do practice self-care, which is really something that we stress through Skirt or all our entrepreneurial events. I allow the time. I don't sleep much, but I allow the time for sleep. And what freed me up, and I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs face this challenge. They have a to-do list, and that to-do list can be overwhelmingly daunting, because if they don't check the things off their to-do list, then they feel like they're falling behind. And it can be burdensome. And I once had the distinction of what would happen if I threw away my to-do list. If at the end of the day, instead of rolling what I didn't get done the day before onto the next list, if I just threw the list away, what would happen? And a miracle happened for me. What I realized is that I was never going to get done in any given day what I wanted to get done, but I was going to get done a whole lot more in 1 year than I could have ever imagined for myself by freeing up my time. And so that gift of time, right, that gave me that sense of peace at the end of the day to just really just lay my head down and be in a blessing state, be grateful for whatever the day brought. And they're not always good days.
Yeah, you're right about that. I know you obviously, in some cases had to do away your checklist, but what are those things on that checklist that you've been able to check off?
I say it every day. All right. Truth be told, every day I go, what now? What do I want next?
Right.
Right. And I talk about what has happened the last 24 years. My background is finance and real estate development. The last 24 years, I've been more into food and hospitality. And then the last 15 or more years in the beverage business. Cool. And I really have found my home in that space. So in 24 years, I've become an expert in the space. I've educated greatly in the space. In 24 months, I have been able to take the $1 trillion alcohol industry to the blockchain and created the first NFT in the spirit space with the first barrel of bourbon ever made in South Carolina.
Cool.
In 24 months, I was able to sell off my last company and take those funds to reinvest in the city of North Charleston, buying the industrial campus that I'm on, where the Stripe Pig Distillery is, and now Ghost Monkey Brewery.
Right.
In the last 24 months, the acquisition and the move of Ghost Monkey from Mount Pleasant over to North Charleston. In the last 24 months, I was selected by Forbes as top 50 over 50. And in the last 24 weeks, in the last 24 weeks, got my book published. So my book, Alphabet Soup, #1 bestseller on Amazon, talking about financial independence for everybody and where our new currencies are moving to. It is the history of digitalization from Morse code to memes. And I strongly encourage as a light introduction to reading about cryptocurrencies and the metaverse. It's hopefully fun reading. I have a lot of comical analogies in there. So took the book public. and then formed the nonprofit Miniskirt. In 30 years of teaching financial literacy to women, sadly, the statistics have not changed very much. 85% of women are still reporting that they're behind on their bills. They don't have formal saving plans. They don't understand. Even CEOs of Fortune 500 companies, the few that there are, they're still not equal. They're still not getting to address these additional needs. And even education. So we're really focusing on that. But we started the nonprofit, the 501c3, called the Miniskirt, because I said if 30 years later I'm still having the same conversations about financial independence and how money works and how to get in alignment with your goals and go and seize them, then we've got to start much younger. Mm. So the Miniskirt focuses on young ladies 14 to 24.
That's amazing.
It's so amazing that we were granted the proclamation day by the mayor last week. We had the Spirit of Giving Day, the nonprofit Palooza. It's the first time ever that we had the largest gathering. Almost 50 nonprofits from the state gathered at the Striped Pig Distillery. It's part of our Sip and Share program. And they got to share each other's resources, meet each other. They have similar structures, similar business models, similar resources, and they don't even all know each other.
Wow.
So this was a fellowship hall of shared resources where everybody from our community could also walk in one location, go see all these, make donations, sign up, volunteer, find out that, hey, I didn't even know this existed and this is helpful for me, my neighbor, my children. It was the Holy Spirit, I just got goosebumps, was so palpable in that room. I'm just saying, it was miraculous. So getting read the proclamation by the mayor's office, and also in the last 24 hours, I got this.
Yay, congratulations.
2024 Inspirational Woman of the Year Award, Southeastern Chamber of Commerce. So honored to have been asked to be in their presence, and what a great group of people. And then in the next 24 hours, I'm getting on a plane to Vegas to go judge the Mrs. America contest.
Wow.
I'm so excited about that. Yep. So now taking exactly what I'm saying to you, sure. Tenured, mature women who may have sacrificed careers or maybe did everything in conjunction, that are the top of their states, that will all be in a room together, sharing what they've accomplished to become Mrs. America. It's just like, crazy.
Ma'am. Absolutely. Obviously, you have had a tenure of success throughout your life, being a mom, an entrepreneur, and a leader in the community. What sacrifices did you make, and how did that change you professionally?
People talk about work, life, home balance. And for me, I'm like, it's a wonderful concept. For me, it doesn't exist. I feel like it goes in ebbs and flows. Yes. You manage triage. That's like saying, in an emergency room that you're going to have a calm night. How can you predict? There's no such thing. Right. You just deal with it as it comes. When the flows come in, you manage the floodgates, you triage whatever situation is ahead of you. I'm fortunate enough that I picked my family to be around me, right? We're a family business. And so most of you know I gave birth to 9 kids. 7 of them are running operations with the spouses and the grandchildren and my 82-year-old mother. So we're 4 generations kind of together all the time. It would have been a sacrifice if I didn't have my children in the business. But I feel like I got the best of both worlds. Now that also brings a lot of challenges, a lot of challenges, right? Because family-run business, there's all kinds of personalities, and you wouldn't necessarily run your mouth if you're working for another employer like you would if it's just mom boss,
Right.
So, but I have one more exciting thing that I really want to announce for you.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
And this is probably the biggest of my career, although I'm like, what's next?
Right.
But also in the last a little over 24 hours, we announced that I am taking my company public.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. And here's why this is so important. First of all, I'll be the 14th company in South Carolina to go public. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
What
And the
got
few that you might know,
Yes, ma'am.
Denny's,
Oh, yes.
Black Bod,
Sure.
Longevity,
Sure.
Sunoco,
Right.
Loud Beverage.
Right.
There's just not a lot. And we have a lot of big corporations here, but their headquarters are not in South Carolina. So I will be the 14th company of South Carolina to go public.
Wow. So what got you from obviously having this company to now making it public?
I was approached by a company called Metavesco, and that is actually our ticker. It's Metavesco Company, MV Metaverse,
There you go.
CO, MVCO. Should check it out. And so it tracked a lot with what they were doing in the metaverse. They actually had a beverage company, and they were just very active in educating their communities around things related to our metaverse. And so it was a very good track. I loved the management team. I loved the network of people. And look, human capital is more important than any kind of other capital, right? No matter what. That is the most valuable currency. So you have to want to really work with the people that are in your sphere. And I fell in love with them. And they fell in love with our family. So it was like instant family.
Yes.
And we want to grow. We've got 24,000 square feet in North Charleston that's home to $20 million worth of bourbon that's getting moved, think about the retail sales and the sales tax, into the state of South Carolina. We want to really contribute to our communities. And our Sip and Share program, which gives $2 a bottle for any product purchase in conjunction with a fundraiser or community education program, we have all kinds of Sip and Share events going on now. We had the Charleston paddle boat last night was raising money for their fundraiser because they got selected to go to the world finals in Italy. So anybody could come and use the Sip and Share model at the Striped Pig to raise funds for their organizations. To get that on the big screen, so to speak, right? To get it out there for everybody to see, you really have to be a public company. It's a way to raise money to do the things that we need to do for the expansion. But what was really so important to me is because, it takes a village, right? We can't do anything alone. Well, you can try. But if you want to go far, you got to go together, right? We know this. Everybody participating at the Striped Pig or Ghost Monkey or with Skirt now has an opportunity to own shares in the company. So it's no longer just my company.
Right.
Now it's everybody's company.
Yes.
And if you're already participating and hanging out or at an event, I say it doesn't matter, even if I'm not a big drinker. We all know this. It doesn't even matter if you're a drinker or not. It doesn't matter if you consume. Your mouth counts. You have a vote, right? We're in election time. You have a vote. And so your preference and your choice and who you suggest your neighborhood bars and restaurants and liquor stores and what products they carry, you have that vote. And I do believe that the emerging leaders of products and services in the future are going to come from the people who are meant to be emerging leaders. So going public gives me an opportunity to share this message on a much wider global platform to allow everybody else to participate with me. If they say things are growing and growing and I'm committed to the growth, we've shown this, then they grow too. And that is really what it's all about, I think.
Where do you see this growth, Ms. Paula, 5-10 years from now?
So in 5 years, I expect that the platform, whether it's identified with Striped Pig or Sip and Share or Skirt, and I know they're kind of all merged together and that's murky for marketing, but it's really about spreading love. I feel that we will be a dominant force in the marketplace and that we will have compelled the big boys to have to step in and give back too. We're small here in South Carolina. I mean, I do believe we will be a dominant force. We'll be a household name and we will have innovated change. We will be pioneers, trailblazers. My holding company is called Trailblazers Global. Don't know why I thought of that 40 years ago. But we will be a dominant force, and we will be recognized and have been innovators. And you know what's so much important? Again, I go back to human currency being the most important. Our team has the greatest experience of most of the people I know. Look, combined, we have 100 years experience in this industry. They are some of the most talented, committed people. They have relationships with our suppliers, our manufacturers, every aspect from cardboard boxes to inserts to invoices to envelopes to shrink wraps to labels to bottles to glass. They have relationships with a huge amount of commerce across our state. And they have integrity. They are innovative. They follow through. People love working with them. So we hear all the time the compliments of how professional our group and our team is. And I think that integrity is important to really deliver that messaging for the whole world to step into that space. So just so many things 5 years from now of where we will be as a leader.
What else do you want to add to that space to make it grow in the next 5 to 10 years?
Okay, it's good. That's a great question because of course I'm always thinking that. And I think you got horizontal and vertically integrated opportunities everywhere we go. And I'm not kidding. Every Wednesday we have a weekday Wednesday meetup, a midweek meetup from 5 to 8, the Striped Pig. And we invite all the businesses, anybody new who wants to connect, share their story. We give them a platform to tell who they are, what they're doing, and we introduce them to the rest of the room. So they feel very comfortable and included in walking into a networking group that is not divided. We are all there, mostly sitting around in a circle as a family, and we welcome every new person who walks in the door. I love midweek Wednesday meetup. I've seen so many deals go down in that room, and that's what opens because people will say, hey, I have a paving company. Who do you know? What can you get behind? Pixie Records and Studios. We have a lot of artists that come in. We do karaoke on Thursday nights, and we're starting open mic. Zandrina Dunning is going to start open mic starting Tuesday, the first Tuesday of September. We have so many artists coming through. So now we're putting on platforms. We've got Afro Man coming the 29th of October, that Tuesday. So we're bringing these musical things together through Pixie Records and Studios. There opens a new vertical. There's so many artists that want to get in the beverage business, want to learn more about branding, need to be connected to other people. They have to have additional revenue streams just because technology's changed the game. So as you can see, even food people that come in, hey, did you want to take up a residence with the food truck? Like there's so many things to grow bigger and bigger community business by this.
How has technology changed you?
You know, it's funny being in the spirits business because I get a lot of people saying, oh, but we're looking for the technology sector. And I'm like, we are the technology sector. We are math and technology and science, right? Everything is measured. Everything is taxed. Everything is calculated, a lot of math conversions. We have to use technologies in the distillation process, clearly. It's all science. And then you're running manufacturing, machinery, new technology that drives each of these mobile pieces and how they operate and work. We use a lot of AI and ChatGPT just for getting memos out, using Fireflies to record all the meetings and messages. I think it's made us more aware of how much it's kind of weird how much we were missing, right? Without this technology, how did we operate and function? Yet we did it.
Yes.
But, I would be lost without the technology because it allows me to do 2 or 3 things at once. I also feel like I'm getting more information so I can make more filtered decisions, more wiser decisions. So it's helped me more beneficially. I'm going to tell you something. It has slowed me down because I know that inside of 20 seconds, a new piece of information is coming that if I react too quickly without taking all the information in, and now you can go to get that information and you could go to numerous sources to get the information. So I think it's really helped us.
Wow. What else is actually missing when it comes to obviously the food and beverage industry, the financial industry, and the entrepreneurial industry?
Apparently, there is something missing because the mayor of North Charleston just said that he wanted to start a food and beverage committee.
Oh,
So, yeah, so I look, insurances, the fact that we don't have tort reform, the litigiousness of the liability behind alcohol consumption. If somebody comes into my location and they're drunk, even if I don't serve them and they leave and injure somebody, I'm liable. So our insurances have gone up astronomically. I'm telling you like 20-fold. More importantly, the insurances that were the insurance carriers, providers have all left the state. So we're down to we might have had 40 2 years ago. We've got 2 or 3 today. So you can't even get coverage. It's astronomical. And as you can see around you, it's forcing numerous breweries, distilleries, restaurants to close down because they can't afford the insurance. Something they'll most likely never utilize or even have a claim, but it is the driving force behind our success or not. And it's really a tough one. We need some government interference. We really do.
and I hope I can continue this conversation because I have to run off to work. But for now, Paula Dezutti, thank you so much for your time. And again, welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Thank you so much.
Oh, I appreciate it greatly.